Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach. Welcome to another edition of Friday Fun Day. And this is a really fun project. It takes very little yarn, about 3 ounces, and you can make a lovely ear warmer. And this is called the Bobble ear warmer. It's just intended to go around your head like a headband and make your ears stay warm. Now, you saw from those beginning pictures that you can do this in Christmas colors or any colors that you want. And we'll talk more about yarn when we get to supplies, but you're going to find it takes very little yarn and it's super easy to make. And it's super fun. It's great for the girls, it's great for the guys, for the kids, everyone. Just make sure you measure their head and make it fit. Now, if you make it according to the pattern that I have written, it'll fit about 22 to 24 inch head. But you can always do less repeats or more repeats to adjust the pattern. You can make a bunch up ahead of time, just in case you need some extra birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, or any gifts. Or maybe that last minute ski trip. And as always, you can find the written pattern with pictures on my blog, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. All right, so let's talk about the yarn. Now, I used a medium weight number 4 acrylic yarn. This is the yarn that I used to make this one, and this is the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby in Fall Stripe. All right, now the one you saw at the beginning, I'm going to use this yarn, and this is a Christmas stripe yarn. It's from Hirschner's. It's just called worsted, from Hirschner's, worsted stripe, and the color of it is called Very Merry. And it is also a medium weight number 4 acrylic yarn. So you could use any acrylic yarn. And wouldn't it be fun to make a bunch for your child's classmates, whether elementary to high school, in their school colors? I think that would be an awesome idea as a gift. All right, so you're going to need approximately 3 ounces, a little less, a little more for a smaller or larger. Just measure your headband as you go. Make sure you make it the length that you need. We're going to stitch today with our H hook, which is a 5mm. And then besides that, you just need a needle and a pair of scissors. Now we'll be stitching the headband in rows. And then we'll just do as many repeats as needed and then join it together. All right, so I've got my Christmas stripe here. We're going to start with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 16 chains. (11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right. Now we're going to place a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And then we'll place a single crochet in each of the chains, working all the way across. One single crochet in each of the chains, all the way across. So we began in the second chain from the hook and stitched a single crochet and then single crochet in each of our stitches across. So we have 15 single crochets. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. All right, now are you ready to make some bobble stitches? We're going to begin with 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches. Chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we go right in our first one and stitch 2 more. Now we're going to stitch a bobble stitch. So we're going to wrap our yarn around. We're going to go in the next stitch, pull up a stitch, yarn over, and only go through the first 2. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. It looks like I have 3 unfinished double crochets and then my loop that was on my hook. So we're going to yarn over and go through all 4 of those loops. Then we'll push it towards the front and single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can see we've made our first bobble. Now we're going to do another bobble. And then single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. One more bobble in the next stitch. And that leaves 3 single crochets on the end. And we'll just single crochet in those 3 single crochets. And chain 1. So on the back side we have little dents, little push-in spots, okay? But when we turn it over to the front, we have 3 bobbles. So you have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 single crochets and 3 bobble stitches for row 2. We're ready for row 3. So we've chained 1 and we turned, and we're going to place a single crochet in those first 3 single crochets. Then we'll place a single crochet in that bobble stitch. Then 1 single crochet in the 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet in the bobble stitch. And repeat that across. 3 single crochets. 1 single crochet in the bobble stitch. And then we end with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And chain 3. And by having a row of single crochet before and after the row with the bobble stitches, it really makes your bobble stitches pop right out. So we have 15 single crochets because we did 3 and then 1 in each of the bobble stitches, and then we chained 3. We're going to turn our work, and on this row that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet in each of those single crochet stitches. All right, so 1 double crochet in each of the single crochets across, and remember our chain 3 counted as our first, so we began in the second single crochet because we want to have 15 double crochets across. We chained 3, then we stitched a double crochet in each of our single crochets across. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and make sure you have 15 double crochets because we want to keep that count at 15 on every row. All right, now for row 4 we're going to be working in the back loops only. So if you look at the top of your work, you'll see there are loops on the front and loops on the back. All right, so we're just going to go in that first back loop and stitch a single crochet. And then we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets working in the back loops only. Now, you'll know that you're doing it correctly if you see this row here of the loops we didn't stitch in. There'll be a little bit of a dent in there, an indentation, okay? And so we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets working in the back loops only all the way across. Now in this row, because we're stitching in the back loop only, we've done that all the way across. You can see that ridge there. But when you get to the last one, it's our chain 3, and there isn't any way to stitch in the back loop only on that one. So just stitch in the chain 3 and chain 1, okay? And that's the way that row 4 should look. So now we're going to turn our work and we're going to stitch a row of bobbles again. All right, so we'll single crochet in the first 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then we'll stitch our bobble stitch in the next one. And then 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then our bobble stitch. Whoops. There we go. Then 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then 1 more bobble stitch. And then 1 single crochet in those last 3 single crochet stitches. There we go. And chain 1. So again, you can see on the back here, we have those 3 little spots that go in. And when we turn it over, we have our 3 bobble stitches. All right, so then we're just going to repeat what we've just done. We're going to single crochet in the 3 single crochets. And we'll single crochet in the bobble stitch and repeat this all the way across. And again, you want to make sure that you only have 15 stitches on each row. And chain 3. All right, so we've done a row of single crochets in the back loop only. Then we did our bobble stitch row, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch across. Then we chained 3. So our next row, we're going to do a row of double crochets. We've chained 3, so we're going to turn our work. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So we'll go in the next single crochet and stitch a double crochet, and then double crochet in each of those single crochets, working all the way across. So now you can see the pattern that we're doing. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to continue to repeat row 5, row 6, row 7, and row 8 for 13 more times. All right, so you'll do a row of the back post in order to get the ridge. Then you'll do our row of puff stitches, then single, and then double, just like we did here. Row 5, row 6, row 7, and row 8. So you're going to repeat those 4 rows for 13 more times. Now, remember, as you're working, measure your length, make sure it's going to fit the person that you're going to give it to. And also keep in mind that yarn is very stretchy. All right, so let's repeat row 5, 6, 7, and 8 for 13 more times. So here is my ear warmer, and I have repeated what we did for 13 more times. And isn't it beautiful? I just love how it looks. I love the bobble stitches. I love the one that we did here. It makes a nice ridge, and it's just gorgeous. All right, now again, when you get to this point, measure and make sure it's going to fit the head that you're making it for. If you make it according to the pattern that I have written, it'll fit about a 22 to 24 inch head. And keep in mind that, like I said, it's very stretchy. All right, so once we have made it the length that we want to put the two ends together with the outsides facing out. All right. And we're going to stitch the two ends together. All right. It's really simple. We're going to go in the first stitch on this side and the first stitch here and grab that loop and pull it through. All right, so we already joined together the end there with that chain one, and we're going to go right in that first stitch and make a single crochet. And we're going to single crochet across, stitching the two together. And it should line up, if you kept your stitch count, at 15 stitches on every row. All right, and so we're just going to single crochet across, stitching the front and the back together to form our ear warmer. So I have joined my two sides together, working on the wrong side out. I stitched 15 single crochets. Now we do not want to break our yarn here. What we're going to do is we're going to chain 30 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 chains. All right, and this is going to make the piece that we're going to use to cinch it up. All right, so I'm going to cut my yarn and tie that off. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over onto the right side. Now this is an end we need to just weave in real quick because that was the end on the other end where we started. All right, so let me go in here, move that out of the way, and weave this in real quick. So that end is all tidied up, and we're on to the front side of our ear warmer. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is cinch that in. Now, if you do not want your ear warmer to be cinched in, then you don't need to do this chain. You can just tie off and weave this end in the same way we did the other end, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to sort of grab that in, and we're going to wrap this around. 1, 2, give it a good pull 3 times. Whoops. Then we'll grab our needle and attach that securely. All right. So we want to make sure that we attach this to the inside. And so I'm going to use that area there where we have those single crochets, and I'm going to go around those braids first. And then I'm just going to weave that in, going through those braids. They're actually chains, not braids. I call them braids all the time. They are chains. And go back and forth. And then the last thing I'm going to do is leave enough yarn to do a no-no, and that's called tying a knot. I just want to make sure that my braid is, or my chain, is not going to come undone, because I loved the cinch section. I think it is super cool. And then you can just take your hook if you want to hide those loops and pull that under there and pull this string under there until it's nice and tidy. All right, now we'll just bring it to the front. There's our braids, our chains, and we can just sort of fan that out a little bit. And now I have a beautiful Christmas striped ear warmer. So here are the 2 ear warmers that I made. I have one for fall weather, one for Christmas weather, or whenever I want to wear it. And of course, these would be beautiful in ombre, striping yarns, variegated yarns, solid yarns, whatever color yarns you want. And again, get in your yarn stash, make a bunch of them up ahead of time, and when you have unexpected gifts that you need to give, you have something ready to go that everybody will love. So that's our Bobble ear warmer.